Caitlin Clark might have been the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, but did you know she was actually underrated in high school? In the 2020 high school recruiting class, Clark was ranked as the 7th best player in the country. So let's talk about the 6 players ranked ahead of her, who they are, what happened to them, and where they are now. Starting with the #1 prospect, Paige Bueckers. Known as the original media darling, Paige was considered a generational guard prospect. Child prodigy, she played varsity basketball in 8th grade and quickly earned national attention. In high school, she piled up accolades. Minnesota's Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore, first sophomore in 34 years to win Metro Player of the Year, and a state champion as a junior, leading her school to a perfect 32-0 record. That year, she averaged 24.4 points, 5.1 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and an impressive 4.6 steals per game, earning her a spot as one of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year. By her senior year, the hype was undeniable. She became the first female high school basketball player to be featured on the cover of Slam magazine and swept nearly every major award, including Gatorade Player of the Year, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, and Minnesota Miss Basketball. She finished high school as her school's all-time leader in points, assists, and steals. With offers from top colleges by age 14, she turned down South Carolina, Duke, and UCLA to play for UConn, the pinnacle of women's college basketball under the legendary 11-time champion coach Gino Auriemma. Paige became the 11th No. 1 recruit to commit to UConn and was their most hyped player since Breena Stewart. She lived up to the hype immediately, averaging 20 points, 4.9 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and 2.3 steals per game as a freshman, while shooting 52% from the field and an astonishing 46% from three-point range. She capped off her rookie season by winning National College Player of the Year. Paige Bueckers made history by becoming the first freshman ever to win National College Player of the Year. Unfortunately, her fairy tale season didn't get the perfect ending. In the Final Four of March Madness, UConn was upset by Arizona, cutting short what could have been the greatest freshman season in NCAA history. As a sophomore, Bueckers faced injuries that limited her to just 17 games, though she returned just in time for March Madness. UConn reached the Final Four once again, but lost in the championship to Aliyah Boston and South Carolina. Then came a major setback. During a summer pickup game, Paige tore her ACL, forcing her to redshirt the entire 2022-23 season. It was during that year that the Caitlin Clark phenomenon exploded, and Bueckers had to watch from the sidelines as the Iowa guard captured national attention. But Paige got her chance for redemption in the 2023-24 season, returning better than ever, averaging 21.9 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.2 steals per game. She led UConn back to the Final Four with a dominant 28-point, 10-rebound, setting up a highly anticipated showdown against Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Despite Bueckers scoring 17 points, it was Clark who led Iowa to victory in a controversial game, knocking UConn out once again. At the end of the season, most top players from Bueckers' class declared for the WNBA draft. But with a redshirt year and unfinished business at UConn, Paige chose to return for one final shot. The pressure is now immense. She doesn't want to be the only UConn star, to never win a national championship, to have one last chance in the 2024-25 season before likely becoming the #1 pick in the 2025's WNBA draft. While Caitlin Clark may have stolen the spotlight for now, Paige Bueckers still has the potential to become one of the all-time greats in women's basketball. And her rivalry with Caitlin? It's not over, in fact, it's just getting started. During the holidays, you can choose from over 35 weekly flavor-packed, never-frozen meals with Factor, always fresh, and designed to support a healthy lifestyle. They cater to your meal preferences, are delivered right to your door, and are ready to heat in just 2 minutes. Personally, my favorite is the Protein Plus meals, which offer over 30 grams of protein per serving, perfect for anyone focused on fitness. I've been enjoying the chicken, which tastes amazing and fits perfectly into my busy schedule as a content creator. It's the best part, it takes only 2 minutes to prepare. So if you want to get started, head to factor75.com or click the link in the description and use code 50DKM to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. Huge thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now back to the story. While Caitlin Clark has taken center stage, Hailey Van Lith was once ranked even higher. Paige Buchers may have been the top-ranked guard in her class, but Van Lith was actually the No. 2 player in the nation. Growing up in Washington and starring at Kashmere High School, Hailey was arguably the best scorer in the country. As a freshman, she led her team to a 26-1 record, with their only loss coming in the state championship. Her sophomore year was even more impressive. She posted the first quadruple-double in school history with 37 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 14 steals. That season, she averaged 32 points, 8.3 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 7.3 steals, leading her school back to the title game only to lose again. Her junior year saw a career-high 34.4 PPG, Gatorade Player of the Year award, and yet another loss in the championship. Determined to win it all as a senior, Van Lith was finally ready, but the pandemic canceled the season, making her one of the best high school players never to win a state title. Still, she finished her high school career as Washington's all-time leading scorer, was named Miss Basketball, and was a top 5 national recruit. She had also built a strong relationship with Kobe Bryant, working out at the Mamba Sports Academy, and serving as a role model for Gianna Bryant. Hailey carried that Mamba mentality into college, where she played her freshman season at Louisville, made the ACC All-Freshman team, won the ACC regular season title, and reached the Elite Eight. As a sophomore, she helped Louisville reach the Final Four, losing to Stanford. Her junior year was her true breakout season, averaging 19.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals. In March Madness, she elevated her game even further, scoring 20 points in 4 straight games and leading Louisville to another Elite Eight, where they faced Caitlin Clark in Iowa. In their highly anticipated matchup, Van Lith dropped 27 points. It wasn't enough to stop the eventual runners-up, despite being on pace to become Louisville's all-time leading scorer. Van Lith shocked the basketball world by entering the transfer portal and joining LSU, the reigning national champions. The move created a super team buzz, but it turned out to be a disaster. Hailey never found her rhythm, was benched multiple times, and recorded her worst season statistically since her freshman year, jeopardizing her WNBA draft stock. As the No. 2 recruit in the nation, she was expected to be a lottery pick, but instead, her senior season turned into a disappointing chapter in what was once a blazing career. Hailey Van Lith hit the lowest point of her career on one of the biggest stages, the Elite Eight against Iowa, while Caitlin Clark exploded for 41 points. Hailey managed just 9 points on 2 of 10 shooting, performance that many considered a lowlight in her career. But the tough stretch didn't end there. Van Lith was selected to represent Team USA in the 3v3 basketball tournament at the Paris Olympics, where the US team shockingly lost to Spain and had to settle for a bronze medal. It's been a rough summer for Hailey, but her story is far from over. She recently transferred to TCU, where she'd take on a larger role and have the chance to refocus on her game. Her goal now is to rebuild her reputation, re-establish herself as a lottery pick, and position herself for a strong selection in the 2025 WNBA draft. However, when compared to Caitlin Clark, the gap between them has never felt wider. Next up, at No. 3, is Cameron Brink, the No. to pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. Brink's journey began in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she was introduced to basketball through a camp hosted by her godfather, Del Curry, one of the NBA's greatest shooters and father of Steph Curry. Though she picked up the game late, Cameron quickly proved she was born for basketball. She won state championships in her first 2 years of high school and was named Gatorade Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons. After transferring to Mountainside High School for her senior year, she dominated, averaging 19.7 points, 13.2 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 2.5 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. A true Swiss Army knife on the court, She was also an elite volleyball player, helping her school win its first state title in that sport as well, though she could have gone pro in volleyball. Brink chose basketball and as a 5-star recruit, had her pick of top colleges. Her two standout choices were to stay home in Oregon or join UConn alongside Paige Buchers. While UConn has historically been the go-to for top talent, Brink shocked everyone by choosing Stanford largely for academic reasons. The gamble paid off. From day one, Cameron was a standout, averaging 9.9 points on 58% shooting, along with 6.6 rebounds and 2.8 blocks per game. She led the NCAA in blocks and was named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. That same season, she led Stanford to a national championship, the school's first in decades, contributing 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a dramatic 1 point win over Arizona. And even though she reached the top as a freshman, she was just getting started. Brink continued her dominance, leading Stanford back to the Final Four as a sophomore, although they fell to UConn. As a junior, she was named National Defensive Player of the Year, solidifying her status as one of the best two-way players in women's college basketball in her senior year. Cameron Brink delivered the best basketball of her career, averaging an incredible 17.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and a staggering 3.7 blocks per game, becoming her program's all-time leader in blocked shots. That summer, she represented Team USA at the FIBA 3x3 World Cup, where she won a gold medal and was named Tournament MVP, leading the competition in both points and blocks. By then, Cameron Brink had become a champion at the high school, international, and collegiate levels. Heading into the WNBA draft, she was widely considered the best forward in the country, even ahead of Angel Reese, and in most years would have been the No. 1 overall pick. But of course, Caitlin Clark's generational rise shifted the spotlight, still being selected. No. 2 overall in one of the most stacked draft classes in WNBA. History is no small feat. Brink was drafted by the LA Sparks and started her rookie season strong. Her game translated well to the pros. She averaged 7.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game, quickly becoming a frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, her momentum was cut short when she suffered a devastating ACL tear, ending her rookie season and crushing her dream of competing in the Olympics for another gold medal. ACL injuries are among the toughest challenges for athletes, especially for players who rely heavily on mobility and athleticism. Recovery will be long and uncertain, and it's unclear if she'll return in time for next season. However, at just 22 years old, Brink has time on her side, and recent history has shown that elite players can bounce back stronger than ever. Paige Buchers is a great example of successful recovery and return to form. There's real hope that Cameron Brink will come back even better, because her ceiling remains sky high. She has the tools to become one of the WNBA's best two-way stars. And playing in a major market like Los Angeles, she also has the potential to achieve a level of commercial superstardom off the court that very few women's basketball players have ever reached. At number 4, we have one of Caitlin Clark's biggest rivals, Kamilla Cardoso. It's easy to see why she was so dominant in high school and continued that dominance in college. Standing at an imposing 6'8", Cardoso started basketball relatively late after moving from Brazil and joining Hamilton Christian Academy in Tennessee. However, she quickly adapted to the game, averaging an incredible 24.1 points, 15.8 rebounds, and 9.2 blocks per game, nearly a triple-double, which is an astonishing stat regardless of height. Being taller than most WNBA centers, even as a high schooler, made Cardoso a can't-miss prospect. A 5-star recruit and McDonald's All-American, she had offers from top programs like UConn, Ohio State, Mississippi, and South Carolina, but ultimately chose Syracuse, becoming the highest-rated recruit in the program's history. Cardoso started immediately as a freshman, averaging 13.6 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks per game, while winning both ACC Freshman of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year honors. After just 1 year at Syracuse, she transferred to South Carolina, to play under the legendary Dawn Staley. At South Carolina, she accepted a smaller role as a backup to Aaliyah Boston. But this sacrifice paid off as she practiced and competed daily alongside one of the best players in the country. She also experienced winning firsthand when South Carolina claimed the 2022 NCAA championship. As a junior, Cardoso improved her stats and earned more playing time. During her senior season, South Carolina aimed for back-to-back titles and went undefeated into the Final Four, where they faced the Iowa Hawkeyes. This was the game where Caitlin Clark announced herself to the basketball world with 40 points, handing South Carolina their only loss of the season. Many thought this defeat marked the end of South Carolina's run, especially with Aaliyah Boston leaving as the No. 1 pick in the WNBA draft. However, Cardoso was ready to step up and take over Boston's role, playing the best basketball of her career as a senior. During her collegiate career, Camila Cardoso averaged 14.4 points, 9.7 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, and 2 assists per game, shooting a career-best 60% from the field. South Carolina maintained their dominance, going undefeated once again and earning a rematch against the Iowa Hawkeyes in the championship game. This time, it was too much for Caitlin Clark in Iowa, as South Carolina won comfortably. Cardoso contributed 15 points and 17 rebounds, capturing her second national championship and earning the title of Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four. Like many others in this stacked draft class, Cardoso would have been the number 1 pick in most years but fell to number 3, where she was drafted by the Chicago Sky to team up with fellow lottery pick Angel Reese. While received most of the hype this season, Cardoso had a solid rookie year, averaging 9.8 points, 7.9 rebounds, 1.4 blocks per game, making the all-rookie first team. Although she is still a long-term project with plenty of development ahead, her 6 feet